now just got through with one of the largest cookouts ever in the history of man. He had now taken 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, and fed a multitude, and everybody had leftovers to take home with them. Jesus now leaves from the picnic grounds and he moves into the city of Bethsaida. And when he arrives into Bethsaida, they brought to Jesus. I don't know who they were. The Bible simply say they brought a boy to Jesus. They didn't call their names. They didn't declare where they came from, but they simply say they brought a boy to Jesus. Whoever they were, they must believe that what you need, God's got it. They brought a boy to Jesus. This boy couldn't see. He was blind. Jesus now, he performed what I call a messy miracle. You never know what Jesus is going to use to get you out of your situation. I ain't got no help in here. Jesus now did something that some of us will consider and regard as gross or nasty. Jesus spat on the ground and took the spittle and mixed it in the dirt and turned it into mud. He introduced water to mud and brought it together and made medication and anointed. I ain't got no help here. The boy's eyes. And then he had the audacity to ask him, "What do you see?" The boy answered with great respect and great regards. He didn't know what was happening, but he knew something was happening. He said, "Now I see men walking, but they look like trees." Jesus now comes back and anointed their eyes again, Ben Owens, and he said, "Now what do you see now?" The boy answered and made it emphatically clear, "I see men, but they are now looking like men." It is amazing to me how Jesus now, according to some schools of thought, had to touch him 2 times in order for the healing to be complete, but I beg to differ. It's not that the first touch was unsuccessful. In actuality, the first touch was more successful than the second touch. Jesus don't have to touch you 2 times for you to get your breakthrough. All you got to do is reach out and touch him. I ain't got no help here. And he will touch you back. Touch somebody and say, "Reach out and touch him." Understand that the first touch was successful because the first touch allowed the blind boy to see men for what they were supposed to be like. I got no help here, but the second touch afforded him the ability to see men for who they really were. So in actuality, what I'm trying to declare, that Jesus was trying to tell him, look at man for what they are supposed to be. Now look at them for who they really are. Allow me to just park here for a minute and declare that there's a whole lot of folk in the family, in the community, and even in the church. They will look at you for what you are right now. They will look at you and hold against you the things that you have done, but the fact of the matter is we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Listen now, you may be reverend now, you may be deacon now, you may be mother now, you may be missionary now, but the fact of the matter is there's some things in your closet that's still there that folk just don't know. Don't look down on nobody when they mess up. Don't look down on them, but look there to help them get up when they mess up. We all have been there. Touch somebody, say, been there, done that. God is not in the business of, watch this, looking at what you are now, but God is in the business of taking you to where you are supposed to be. He may be Pookie now, the drug dealer, but he's about to be a prophet in the city. I ain't got no help here. Your daughter may be a stripper, but God can turn it around and make her a praise dancer. Touch somebody and say, God will turn things around. Jesus now, we're going to be all right after a while, Reverend Murray. Jesus now said men are supposed to be like trees. Like trees, out of all the things that God have used in the Bible, why in the world do we have to fashion ourselves after a tree? David picked it up and said, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor seat in the seat of the scornful, but his delight should be in the law of God, on which he meditate day and night, and he shall be like a tree. Come here, David. I don't mean to bother you, but come here, David. You're probably out there in the field minding the sheep, walking around talking about the Lord is your shepherd, but would you just come here for a moment, David? You're probably walking around declaring you're going to bless the Lord at all times, but if you don't mind me disturbing you, David, would you come here? I got a question to ask you, David. David is now walking in. David, why do we have, are y'all with me here, to be like a tree? Why can't we be like water? Because God used water. If you can remember now, he took hydrogen and oxygen and performed a marriage ceremony and went to the wedding reception and made it taste like wine. God used water. If you cannot remember when they had the showdown on Mount Carmel, the prophet told them, go get some water and pour it on the altar. God used water. Even the woman at the well, watch this, Jesus said, I'll give you living waters and you shall never thirst again. God used water. So why can't I be like water? The reason you can't be like water, because water don't know what water even want to be like. Because if you take water and put it in something tall, it'll be tall. If you put water in something round, it'll be round. If you put water in something square, it'll be square. If you put water in something flat, y'all don't want to talk to me, it'll be flat. You can't be like water, because water don't know what water want to be like. And that's the problem with a lot of church folk. I don't mean to bust your bubble and tell you a secret, but it's a lot of church folk want to be a saint on Sunday, but a drunk on Monday and a hellraiser on Tuesday. You're just like water. Don't know what water want to be like. Well, if I can't be like water because I don't want to be like no tree, can I now be like the wind? Because sure enough, God used the wind. Come here, Ezekiel, and Ezekiel testify, and he'll declare that he was in the valley and he heard a noise in the valley. The bones were shaking, but they weren't together. Just like a lot of church folks shaking, but you ain't got yourself together. And he spoke to the east wind, the west wind, come here. South wind, come here. North wind, and the winds began to blow in the valley, and a revival took place in the graveyard. God used the wind. He spoke to the wind when Moses and the fellows were standing on the banks of the Red Sea. The wind began to blow and the water departed, and it was so powerful until it dried the ground. Their toes and their feet didn't even get muddy. God used the wind. When the Holy Ghost came on the day of Pentecost, it declared they was in the penthouse. I know the Bible called it the upper room. It came in as a mighty rushing wind. Why can't I be like the wind? Well, the reason you can't be like the wind, because wind will change on you. On Monday, it want to be a thunderstorm. On Tuesday, it want to be a hailstorm. On Wednesday, it want to be a snowstorm. On Thursday, it want to be scattered showers. On Friday, it want to be small precipitation. On Saturday, it just want to be a hot storm. But on Sunday, it want to be a church storm. You can't be like the wind, because wind will I ain't got no help. Well, if you can't be like water, if you can't be like the wind, well, tell me, preacher, can I please be like fire? Because sure enough, God, I love to preach. God, he used fire. There were three fellas by the name of Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. They went into the fiery furnace. God used fire. When Elijah went to the altar on Mount Carmel, Elijah got on his knees and prayed like my granddaddy up in Pringletown, South Carolina, said, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob. He didn't say the type of prayers we pray, knee bowing and body buckling, when I go in to come out no more, and when my tongue done cleave to the roof of my mouth and my eyes done been covered with the sands of time. He just said, God of Abraham. God. Anybody know anything about God? Anybody, not everybody, but just the folk that know something about God, look at somebody and just say, God. I don't know if you know who woke you up this morning, but God did it. I don't know if you know who put clothes on your back, but God did it. You thought it was your alarm clock, but it was God that woke you up. No, it wasn't your baby daddy, Pooh. No, it was God that brought you where you are. That's why you can't put all your trust in man. Man, not ready for that yet, brother. I just sound like it. I ain't ready yet. Man will lift you up, but man will pull you back down. But when God lifts you, anybody in here know how it feels that when God lifts you up, I hear the scripture say, what God bless, no man can curse. Touch somebody, tell them God is on my side. I ain't got nothing to worry about. I dare you to touch 3 people, say he's on my side. God's got my back. You don't have to like me. I got God. You can talk about me all you want. I got God. And one thing I found out, Paul, that folk, watch this, they don't just talk about nobody. They only talk about somebody. So that means if your player haters been talking about you, that must mean you are somebody. I need about 20 folk up in here that got about 5 or 6 player haters that turn around and touch somebody and say, I must be somebody. You got family members trying to dog you out. You got co-workers trying to dog you out. You got church folk trying to dog you out. I dare y'all to stand up on your feet right quick and tell 3 folk to say, yeah, I am somebody. I don't need you to tell me who I am. I know who I am. God. Y'all know God. Y'all know God, the one that made the heat to rise in the clouds, and the clouds started bumping up into each other and making a noise we call thunder. God. Y'all know God, the one that put the ugly on the hippopotamus. Y'all know God, the one that, watch this, took a caterpillar and sent it into a cocoon and it came out a butterfly. Y'all know God, don't you? I believe somebody know God, the same one that took your black soul and dipped it in red blood and you came out white as snow. Anybody know anything about God? Let me tell you one thing I love about him. God, he may not come when you want him. I thought I was in Alabama. He may not come when you want him, but does anybody know that he's always on? Yeah, it's almost midnight and you need a breakthrough. 11:51.